America must see that riots do not develop out of thin air. Certain conditions continue to exist in our society, which must be condemned as vigorously as we condemn riots. But in the final analysis, a riot is the language of the unheard. And what is it that America has failed to hear? It has failed to hear that the plight of the Negro poor has worsened over the last few years. It has failed to hear that the promises of freedom and justice have not been met. And it has failed to hear that large segments of white society are more concerned about tranquility and the status quo than about justice, equality, and humanity.
Welcome to Change Your Narrative. This is Kim.
This is Lam. Man.
What up, Lam?
Man, just in a somber mood, man. This 2020 just keep getting worse.
You were right. I mean, I don't even know where to begin today.
Well, I can tell where we can begin. Well, we left off with one of the worst pandemics in our lifetime, which has now killed 100,000 people here in the United States. And the majority of the people that's affected by that are people of color, especially black people. And now we're dealing with America's Achilles heel, racism. For some reason, somehow, we're still able to slide in racism in the mix of a pandemic. That's how crazy and unique this issue has been for this country, man. And
right.
At this point, man, people are just tired of being tired and they want change.
That's right. And it is evident like how severely this is impacting everyone when you see people across this country coming out, people who have been locked in their homes for 2 months plus because of this disease.
Right.
In the week we're over 100,000, when we hit that 100,000 mark
in debt,
black people, not just black people
of
have,
color,
everyone,
every race
has decided, you know what?
This is enough.
Is paramount at this point that we need to deal with this now. This is enough.
You understand?
So pandemic be damned, people are out there
risking their life, risking everything,
and standing up.
But you gotta understand the dynamics of what's going on, because I mean, the narrative is starting to change a little bit. We'll get into that. But the build-up is from what happened here in Georgia with the Ahmaud Arbery case, where you know what I mean, they hunted that man down. You know what I mean?
So we sat and watched that. We did very little protesting.
Yeah.
And not to forget all the other crap.
Because we was on a quarantine.
You're right.
We was on a quarantine.
You're right.
And when the murder happened in February. We was on. The video got released in March, April. So we was on quarantine when the video came out. People was just outraged about that.
Right. But
then you got a situation in Kentucky where the cops just came on a no-knock situation, burst into this young lady's home, and shot and killed her, man.
Shot her like 8 times.
8 times in her own house.
And then, go back a little bit. There's been all these Eric Gardners. There's been a whole bunch of black senseless killings, right? Yeah. That people have been dealing with and just trying to, you protest, but not to the extent of where we are now. But this it's a tipping point now.
Yeah,
it's a point now where,
point,
everyone sat there and watched this man just
lost his life, man. They just sucked the life out of this man. This man was crying out for his dead mom, man. This man was begging for his life. And it's like the humanity of these people, you know what I mean? Like, they have no regards for life, you know what I mean? And the system itself, it's like they just, they just are aware that the system will protect them under any circumstances. Racism and privilege in this country is getting so out of hand. Like, you even saw the situation in New York with the guy who was doing the bird watching, Mr. Cooper, and Amy Cooper situation, where the man just tell her, like, put a leash on your dog, man. And
which is the rule.
And she just went for the white privilege. This is, I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna put your life at danger by calling the police, and I'm gonna make up a story and tell the cops that, you know what, you were threatening me and my dog. And from the video, she was the one that was harming the dog, man.
They know the playbook, man.
They got the playbook down pat, man. And at what point we gonna say this is enough?
Well, we have said this is enough.
Yeah, man.
And that's what's happening now. Right now in Atlanta, In Washington, in Houston, in LA, everywhere.
Everywhere. And I got to say this too, so for the people who are tuning in from Belize and all over the world, man, if you're a black person, a person of color, man, this also applies to you.
It matters.
You know what I mean? This matters to you. Because the same way they're viewing us up here, that's the same way they view you.
That's right.
So this idea that because you're not here in the States, this has no bearings on your everyday situation, man, you got to start to think outside that box, man, because this in itself is a pandemic.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Worldwide.
Mm-hmm. Worldwide.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, America has had enough.
Yeah, I mean, the new thing now, man, like I said, they're focusing on trying to change this narrative because over the past 6 days, there have been just straight up outrage. People just start rioting. There are some peaceful protesters that's going out there for all their good and right reasons. But the young kids and, people of color, again, from all creeds of life, are out there just burning everything down and looting and so on and so forth. I mean, that's part of the equation. At the end of the day, this is the only language these people understand.
Right, and I think it's important that we talk about that because we hear a lot of blacks, and people of color talking about, oh, they're taking it too far, they shouldn't be doing this. But they need to understand where this is coming from.
Right. Listen, man, we don't condone violence. Let's just start there. Just keep it real. Listen, we don't condone violence, but we have tried every possible avenue to try to mitigate and try to make this situation work the right way. But for some reason, we just can't get the results that, we're asking for. We're just asking for basic human rights, basic equal rights.
Right.
You know what I mean? Justice.
Yeah.
Just justice.
That's it.
We're supposed to be protected under the law for each and every man. But you're telling me you're not even trying to arrest these folks.
No.
We still got 3 cops out there right now who is part of this murder.
Right. Who was immediately terminated from their positions, but there have been no charges. And that is what is fueling the outrage as well.
And you know what I'm saying? But you know what they're going to do? They're going to, like 45 is saying now, we're thugs, and if they loot, we shoot. If they loot, they shoot. It's like, come on, man. It's like, well, I understand they're trying to tell us now, right? They're trying to focus on the lawlessness of the people, right? And the looting.
Right.
But for some reason in this new narrative they're trying to push, because now you saw 45 is doing also, it's Antifa. Antifa now is the new boogeyman. You know what I mean?
Not addressing the actual issue at all.
So what happens, so we're talking about lawlessness from a bunch of lawless police officers. These are the people who started the lawlessness to start with.
Right.
Where in the law that says it's okay to just go out there and execute a person for a misdemeanor, for a $20 for a fake $20 bill, man?
Right. And the thing
is,
he
probably didn't even know he had it.
Probably not. And he wasn't. It's not like he was even resisting arrest.
That
is the crazy part.
At all. But this is the playbook, man. And again, the boldness of this one particular cop, man, when the people were telling him to get off this dude, and he just stayed on this man's neck even after this man lost his life for almost 2 or 3 minutes. He lost, he just knocked out. He kept the pressure on, just no humanity. They just don't value black people's lives, man.
Right, and then they're going to sit here and tell us, well, he didn't intend to murder him? It's a 3rd-degree charge because there was no real intent. Really? Right.
But under the law, if you saw the law, so 1st-degree murder means you premeditated murder. You know what I mean? It's something that you wanted to do, you planned it out, you executed it. 2nd-degree means that you had you in your mind you wanted to kill him, but it didn't go as planned. But you still end up doing it, so he wasn't planned, so to speak.
Okay.
And 3rd degree is more like what's going on right now. It's a misdemeanor where.
Misdemeanor.
Well, a misdemeanor. I'm sorry, misdemeanor. It's more negligence. I'm sorry.
Right.
I said misdemeanor. It's more negligence where. He should have known what he's doing would kill this person, and he still went ahead and did it.
Right. I mean, the reason why for me, I would like to be more than that.
Mm-hmm.
There are people telling him like, "Yo, you're killing him."
Yeah.
He's right there telling him, "You are. I can't breathe."
Understand. He's still facing 25 years.
He should be facing life.
He's still facing 25 years. So my thing is, and the reason why I'm okay with the third-degree murder, because I just want a conviction at this point.
Right.
Listen, man, Trayvon Martin didn't get any justice for his situation. Michael Brown didn't get his. Tamir Rice, Eric Garner. I could go on and on and on. None of these folks got any justice, man. None of these folks. Philando Castile, who was also from Minnesota, he didn't get any justice either.
No.
So this is something that's been going on now for a long time.
Right.
You know what I mean? And again, I got to go back to what we start talking, because now the narrative now is the looting. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about looting for a second.
Let's talk about looting, Clint.
Because this is it's so ironic when you listen to these people talk about looting. So looting, we don't condone it, all right?
Right.
So we're not saying
it's okay.
It's okay, or you should be doing that. But at the end of the day, man, first things first. A lot of these companies, these big department stores that they're looting, the Gucci's, the Dior's, the Best Buys, the Target, and all these big corporations, they just loot us. They just got a $500 billion break. Taxpayers' money. You understand what I'm saying? And in addition to that, a lot of these companies were going bankrupt to start with. Amazon is eating up a lot of these people's lunch. Right. So a lot of these buildings and merchandises that are being stolen will be replaced by their insurance and so on and so forth. So you will get all this stuff back, but you cannot get this man's life back.
Right.
So let's just start there. So the stuff they're stealing, to me, has no real value. The real value here is that man's life, and that man wants some justice. The second thing, our country is built on looting. Black people came here in 1619 based on looting. You know what I'm saying? We worked as slaves for 300 plus years.
Right.
We haven't got a retribution on that.
Nope.
A lot of people got rich off the backs of a lot of black people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So let's keep it real. A lot of people got rich off that. And now they're going to tell us about looting?
Right.
In 2008, when there was a crash from these big banks and so on and so forth, they already gambled, right? They took the risk, gambled and lost, and still came back and loot the United States government because they were too big to fail.
That's right.
They were too big to fail.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not considered to be looting. The cell phone that we have right now, all these gadgets that we have, the components of the stuff in these gadgets came from Africa that they're still looting right now.
That's
the
right.
cobalt, the iron, and all this stuff. The jewelry that we wear, the diamonds, the gold that we loot from the Native Americans, we loot from South America, the silver and all this stuff, man. So don't tell me about looting, because the stuff they are stealing right now is worthless.
Right.
It's worthless, and it's a bunch of stuff that they will get back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So don't give me that bull job about looting, man, because I don't condone it. But what you expect? We have 40 million people unemployed. 100,000 people died from this COVID-19. And again, like I stated, most of those people are black people.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? We've been locked in our homes now for 2.5 months. Where do we go from here?
Right. And to pile on top of that, now you're going to be killing our people right in front of our faces.
It's like
and it's just, like I said, it's boiling over
it's
now.
Like, what is, like, they don't think we'd have a breaking point?
Right.
You know
so my thing is,